Hey, Genki Call here with your Soulforge video for the week of May 2nd, 2022. Another week has come. So, I have something exciting to share with you, something I have never had access to before, which I now have access to thanks to the amazing Cookie, who's got the bot set up on my forum to show this information automatically. Oh, it's so exciting! King Ollie, you are the king indeed. You rock. Look at this list. Remaining Soulforge Mythics. There are 11 left that haven't come through this cycle yet. As soon as this cycle finishes, we'll start a new cycle, and that means chances at High King Iron Gut or whatever mythic you've been waiting for. It's coming up soon. So these are the remaining Soulforge Mythics, and yeah, we're going to be through this pretty quickly and starting a new cycle. So thank you, King Ollie, for this information, and to Cookie because I didn't know this information existed. So thank you both. You both rock. Thank you! But let's talk about what is in the Soulforge right now. So nothing fantastic except in weapons. So, oh no, I take it back. I see Tesla. Tesla! This is one legendary that's absolutely worth the 800 diamonds. She is such a beast. When you buff her with the Shield of Urskaya, she will just completely decimate the enemy. She's not just boosted by her own armor like Roanne is, she's boosted by all ally and enemy armor, which means you can use the Shield of Urskaya in whatever spot and just hit the troop that's in the first spot and is still going to affect her spells. She's just amazing. When she first came in and I had the diamonds, I actually crafted 2 of her just for delving purposes. I don't recommend that you do 2. Probably 1 is going to be fine, but she is amazing. So this is one to consider for sure. The Kraken, Viper, Sir Quentin Hadley, I'll go over them, but probably not. But let's go over them. You can make your own decision. So, deal damage to the last 2 enemies, create 8 blue gems, and a 35% chance to devour the last enemy. As high as that sounds, it doesn't seem like it hits that often. Yeah, it's 35% of the time. So, to be honest, it's either 100% or 0% when you cast. It's either going to devour or it's not. It also does 3 damage to all enemies on 4+ gem matches and gets a little extra life every time you get those matches as well. Viper, I don't like fighting her because she charms, but she does damage to 1 enemy, poisons and charms them. Does a little damage to a random enemy when an ally casts a spell, gains some magic, so every time an ally casts a spell, this purple number is going up and up and up. In general, I would not say worth 800 diamonds, nor Kraken. Sir Quentin Hadley, possibly. You know, if you really, really desperately want to have a knight team, because all knight allies start with 50% mana with this troop. But I don't see any reason to go out of your way to get him unless you want him for a very specific team, or if you want to get the Sword's Edge power level up. Just like anything, if you're desperate to get a power level up, you just have to weigh your options. Is it worth 800 diamonds to me and having 800 less for a mythic, or is it not? So he is a double mana converter. I love this type of troop. Purple gems to yellow, green gems to skulls, and he does damage to 2 random enemies in addition, which is very nice. I think he's one of the better ones, really, but I'm not sure if his griffin is called Peter or Kathy. Peter Griffin, Kathy Griffin. Ha ha ha. Very funny, devs. Always here, always here, always here. So let's go over the ones that aren't always here. Stonehammer is one of them. This guy is from Kazil. He stuns and burns all enemies. Very nice. Creates a mix of 22 brown and red gems. There will be a ton of brown and red, especially if you have Magma Dragon on the team for some reason. He also gains life. He has skull damage reduction by 80%, and he's immune to a bunch of stuff. He's not impervious, but he is immune to a bunch of stuff. So he makes a really great tank. You know, he's got this 22 mana cost, but besides that, he's a great tank, and I don't know why people are so down on him. Would I spend 4,000 diamonds to craft him? Personally, no, um, but that's just me. So we've got Doomclaw here, and Doomclaw is from Urskaya. Does damage to an enemy boosted by enraged allies. So for each enraged ally, you can have up to 4 at a time. That would be with a boost ratio of 10, you can have an additional up to 80, um, up, sorry, up to an additional 40 damage. I'm looking at the 40 and I'm adding the 4 and 4 together, sorry. With separate 25% chances to devour the next enemy above and below. So you hit one in this spot here, it's going to possibly devour this one and or this one. Yeah, separate chances. They say that this is a terrible mythic, but I don't own him, so I've never been able to try him. Nice thing about him, he's immune to his own spell. He cannot be devoured unless he gets cursed or stunned. And then enrage a random ally on 4+ gem matches, which means that'll boost his damage. So, if the 25% chance hits, that's going to be pretty nice. I will come back to that in a little bit. I've got something else to say. Always here, always here. Champion of Gaard is the next one, and we have one more after that. The Champion of Gaard gains a bunch of armor if there are 13 or more skulls. If there is 13, sorry, if there is skulls, sorry, bad grammar. Slap my hand. Give double the armor. Wow. Then create a mix of 22 blue and red gems. Because he has this spell damage reduction by 50% and skull damage reduction by 60%, he's actually kicked my butt in PvP more than once. And then all red allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of every single turn. Scorpius does the same kind of thing with brown allies. So he's not considered a great mythic, but again, he's a nice tank. He's kind of like Stonehammer, actually, because he's creating a mix of 22 blue and red, and Stonehammer creates a mix of, 22 red and brown. So, yeah, I mean, would I craft him? Depends. I might. I might craft him. I might craft Doomclaw because I need them to get my power levels up. I'm bottlenecked at level 9 because I don't have any mythics for this place. And I might do this one just to get Urskaya up. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it. So the last one here that is not always here is the Flame of Anu. It's really pretty forgettable, except he does burn and fairy fire a random enemy when matching 4+ gems. This is very useful. His spell is really not. He does damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by burning and fairy fired enemies. This stacks. So for each one that's burning, that's 5 points. For each one that's fairy fired, that's 5 points. So if they're burning and fairy fired, that's 24, is that 40 points? I'm losing my mind. So, yeah, an extra, anyway. I'm sorry, I can't math today. Again, I'm having trouble with my math today, and it's very simple math, and I'm embarrassed that I can't think right now. Oh, so embarrassing. My math is usually not that bad. Anyway, let's head over to the weapons. So, always here, always here, always here. Wall of Oblivion. Now, I have to have all weapons because I have been blocked by weapons enough times that it's aggravating, and I don't ever want it to happen again. So, Wall of Oblivion is one choice here. It will steal all of an enemy's armor, so it's taking it and adding it to your own. If they have really high armor, that could be huge, unless they do true damage, of course. But if the enemy is a boss, deathmark all other enemies. So if you're fighting Zul'Goth or Hatir Ascendant or Enraged Kurandara or Scroll Reborn, any of those, or Raid Boss, coming up this weekend, by the way, then, it's going to Deathmark, and it says all other enemies, any of the bosses are going to be immune to Deathmark unless they're cursed. So, yeah. It doesn't look terrible to me. I think for high levels, this could be pretty fun. I don't know, though. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I must have it, so I am crafting it. Anyway, the Mace of Gulvania is one of those cheapo 75 diamond jobs. Remove all purple gems, deal damage to an enemy boosted by those gems. You will not get any of that mana, but it will boost your spell. And if they're from Gulvania, do double damage. Have to have it because it is another Gulvania weapon, and I have to have all weapons except maybe Dooms. But speaking of Dooms, we have one of the better doomed weapons in here. It is the Doomed Scythe. So, in my opinion, any doomed weapon that creates doom skulls should be your first priorities, unless you are super huge on Guild Wars, in which case the tomes. But personally, for everyday use, I can always use something that creates doom skulls. So this is one that converts yellow to doom skulls, and I love this kind of weapon. As far as the doomed ones go, you can see I've got that at plus 10. That's because I love this type of weapon. So absolutely recommend. I would say it's definitely worth the 900 diamonds unless you don't like skull spamming, in which case, why bother? There's no reason to get it if you'll never use it. You know, except for completionist's sake. But if you have other priorities, for instance, Rope Dart is coming at the end of May. You want to be sure to have some diamonds for that, and the Rope Dart will be 300 diamonds, not 900. So it is expensive, but it is one of the better doomed weapons in my opinion. So the other things we've got here is we've got the Axe of Leeching that does damage to an enemy boosted by Gulvania allies, then create a mix of 6 red and purple gems for each Gulvania ally with a boost ratio of 6. Yeah, 6. 6 red and purple. 6 red and purple gems for each Gulvania ally. Right. So how you will see if this is something you will use is very simple. I'm going to show you. So we just go in here, we search by all kingdoms and go to Gulvania. It was red and purple, right? We'll say it's red and purple. We'll do that. Red, purple, boom. So if you would create a team out of these troops, then it would absolutely be worth crafting it if you have something in mind to use with the troop. So if you were going to do an all Gulvania team, I would say actually these 3 are fantastic. All 3 of them. I really like all of them. Leonici, the Flesh Horror, and Crimson Back. This one does true damage, and in a delve type situation, this is much higher. That's true with anything, but these both do damage to all enemies. She does to all enemies above. This one does to all enemies below. So both of these can hit submerged allies or enemies, even if the whole team is submerged. So whereas the Crimson Bat wouldn't be able to. But yeah, I mean, the Grey King, Draculus, I mean, there's some good troops here that use red and purple. So anyway, that is entirely personal preference, but of course I have to have all weapons, as I said. So let's go back in here and see if there are any that I've missed. Let's see, went over, yes. Axe of Leeching, that is it. That is all. No, it's not. There's one more. There's a Blood Keeper. And do not waste your diamonds on this because this is in the shop for the journey event. And you buy 3 tiers, I think, and you'll get this for gems. And you can save your diamonds. So I will show you. Go into guild. If you're not in a guild, at least join one and think about getting this for gems. Well, you need to be in a guild. You need to be in a good guild because you're going to enjoy the game so much more if you are. So you have to purchase tier 3. The Blood Keeper does damage to an enemy boosted by purple and undead allies. So if they're purple and undead, that's plus 3 damage for each purple, plus 3 damage for each undead. So, it's not a fantastic weapon, but if you're doing the journey event, you're going to be getting this for free. So absolutely do not craft it if you're going to be participating at least tier 3 in the journey event. So that's what I've got for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye!